members and non-members and fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, the Pink Cadillac. In 2000, the year 2000, in Arizona, I saw this Pink Cadillac. And I looked at it and I thought, who the heck would ever want a Pink Cadillac? That thing's nasty. I could not believe why somebody would choose a color like that in a motor car. How could you take a Cadillac and just ruin the thing? Little did I know that that Pink Cadillac would teach me so many lessons in my life. How to connect with people, in business, everything. I suddenly learned about the Pink Cadillac didn't mean just a nasty color. Number one, you don't judge a car by its color. Because that color that may be nasty to you was something that taught me about success and performance. Because whoever drove a Pink Cadillac had probably earned $100,000 in sales. So when I look at pink, I think you're worth something now. I tend to judge things so fast, like we all do. We see something and we judge it. The smart way is not to judge something first, but is to ask questions. A friend of mine, Ben Backus, a young guy in Arizona, he got this promotion in a company called Countrywide. It used to be the biggest lender in the United States at that time. And he got this massive promotion. And I said to him, Ben, congratulations, but how did you get it? Why did you get it? You've only been in the company like 6 months. He said, I don't know, I've just been working hard. I said, I want you to go and ask somebody. So he asked his brother, and his brother went to the CEO of the company and said, did you give my brother that promotion because of me? And I said, oh no. The CEO said, one day we were in a meeting, and I tell you what now, your brother was asking great questions, and you show your intelligence through the questions you ask and not the statements you make. So we should be asking questions about the Pink Cadillac or the color instead of just judging the color. We do this to people. We look at people, we look at their color, we look at different things, and we just judge them without asking questions. And we don't show any intelligence through the statements we make or our judgments. I learned a big thing from that Pink Cadillac. The second thing was Mary Kay. In 1952, she worked for a company called World Gifts. And she was there for 10 years. They had taken her from another company because she was so successful. But what she had done, she had raised people up. She had raised a young guy far younger than her. And he got a promotion far above her with a massive salary that she wasn't getting. They took a white piece of bread, loaf, and they promoted him. Because he was a male and he was white. And she said, that is not right. So she was with that company for 10 years, a decade, and she resigned. And she was 45 years old, and she said, I'm going to start a company with diversity. And I don't care who you are, where you're from, what color, language, your accent, you're going to be promoted based on performance. And in diversity, in the 1960s, and now that was 1963, wasn't so great in America. Remember down there, you're a white man, you're up there. And that's the way it was. She was part of the process of changing in America. The next thing, what I loved about our little Mary Kay, what she affected my life in so many ways, was the whole thing of, she built a company on the diversity, and then the next thing, you all are asking for this right now. If I look at you, and she told her salespeople, whenever you look at somebody, look at their eyes. Look at their eyes. And you can see around their neck is something hanging. And there's got something hanging in front of every person on this planet. And everybody's crying out for this, every single person. And it says, make me feel good. Make me feel good. If you just can get people to, if you can just go out and make people feel good, you're going to touch their life and you're going to increase your sales. Everybody's crying out for that. God, you're crying out for it every day. Every person you see at McDonald's or Starbucks, they're trying to make me feel good. That's how we increase our relationships in our life in every single area. You see, one way of making people feel good is, sometimes people love to talk, right? And they love to talk about themselves. Because when they start talking, they feel better. So many real estate agents would tell me, oh God, the engineer was sitting at the back of the car and he didn't want to talk. His wife was doing all the yapping, but the engineer and the accountant were just sitting there. He didn't want to talk. And I say, oh no, we were created to talk. April 16, 2007, we had the Virginia Tech tragedy where little Mr. Cho went and killed 2 people in the dorm rooms and left for 2 hours, changed his clothes and did a few other things, and he came back and killed another 30 people. His grandmother said, never wanted to talk. His sister said, never wanted to speak. His mom and dad said, never wanted to talk. His friends at Virginia Tech never wanted to talk, except one day we gave him some beers and he said a little bit. But what's the last thing he did? In the 2 hours between shooting 2 people and another 30 people and himself. He went and he made a video and he walked to the post office and he sent the video to NBC Studios in New York, John Rockefeller Center. And he wanted to talk and tell the world how angry he was. Everybody wants to speak. And when we want to feel better, make me feel better, we've got to give people the opportunity to speak and to feel better. Everybody's crying out for that. Oh, but he's an engineer, he doesn't like to talk. Oh, shut up, you ugly thing, he wants to talk. He wants to talk. Every human being on this planet wants to talk. And if you Mr. Cho, you haven't spoken for 23 years, Mr. Cho wants to talk. Our job is to make people feel good. My question to you is, do you allow yourself to feel better? What do you do? Because the way you feel will dictate your actions. If you don't feel good about something, you're not going to want to do stuff. You're going to hold back. You're not going to be who you're called to be. So you're going to start with yourself. How do you feel? When you get up in the mornings, how do you make yourself feel? Do you say, make me feel good? Or do you do it in the mornings? Because when you feel great, let me tell you what now, there's nothing stopping you, baby. There's nothing stopping you. When you don't feel great, we don't want to do things. We hold back all the time. And our job is that every person in our life is to get them to feel good. Because you don't know what you will create in that person will help that person down their road. So my question to you is, don't judge a car by its color. It may be that color is going to change your life. Next thing is diversity. Be open to anybody, however they look and they sound and they speak. You might not look like the way they look. It's okay. We've got to bring them in. That's your calling. And thirdly, make them feel good and make yourself feel good. Thank you very much.